Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about interdisciplinary higher education in place-based social tech. We are basically going to tell you about our experience, which we had during the research project named Tambali in Dakar, in Senegal. Our paper and our research draws on a series of key concepts which come from innovation economics and innovation management. One of these key concepts is that of innovation ecosystems. Innovation ecosystems are entities which, in a local context, group together different actors which are all embedded in a series of dynamic and generative processes pursuing innovation and technology development objectives. Today, the literature about innovation ecosystems stresses the importance of creating innovation systems which should be tailored to the local context and which should be place-based. And should be not standardized, but more and more place-based. And policymakers also in the European Union are working on the creation of place-based innovation ecosystems to link technology to local contexts and local challenges. There is an important stream of literature which stresses the importance that social entrepreneurship may play in such kind of innovation ecosystems, that given that social entrepreneurship can be naturally place-based, given that it answers directly to local societal needs. But we know that social entrepreneurship today is changing, and a new genre of social entrepreneurship is growing, and this is the genre of the so-called social tech venture. In social tech venture, the social purpose of social entrepreneurship is coupled with two important characteristics. One is the usage of innovation and innovative technology to solve societal issues, and the second is the creation of scalable innovations. And this kind of technologies and this kind of entrepreneurial firms may have a strong potential and strong role also in developing countries, or in those countries which are called base of the pyramid countries. For example, 3D printing may play the role of an enabled technology for social tech entrepreneurship, as has already been stressed by a series of authors, but also some key elements which come from product design and product system design, like do-it-yourself materials and do-it-yourself production, may be a technological element enabling the creation of social tech entrepreneurship. And when there is a new economic subject, when there is a new subject, there is also an education linked to this subject. And actually, there is also in the literature a wide stream of literature talking about of social entrepreneurship education and social entrepreneurial educational models. Also directly with a place-based approach, which is one of those characteristics which we already stressed. However, there is still a scarcity of models and educational models to teach and educate about social tech. There is just this paper about Zombak in 2016. So there is a wide recognized necessity to develop and test new social tech models and new social tech educational models. We had the occasion to work in this stream and to try to develop and test an educational model towards social tech entrepreneurship, thanks to an important international research project, a research in action project promoted by Polysocial, and this project is named Tambali, which is translation to say starting from here. This is the starting point. Tambali means that. And the objective of this project was, and is that of creating a social and technological innovation pole in Dakar, Senegal. And how, which modality does this project work? This project aims at eliciting place-based innovation processes able to respond to local societal and economic challenges. And this project has also a specific focus on the fishing sector. Basically, it aims at applying the technological and social innovations which will be and are developed to the fishing sector, which in Dakar, which is on the seaside, plays a key role in the economic development of the town and of the local context. As a part of the Tambali fee project, the educational part played an important role. And into the Tambali fee project, the workshop Social Tech for Sustainability played a central role. And this workshop has the goal to train designers and entrepreneurs in the field of sustainable design for social entrepreneurship. The key characteristics of this workshop, which encompasses a model, an educational theoretical model, and tested this model in the Senegal, in the Dakar context, it has two main characteristics. First, the usage of advanced technologies directly in the workshop, and also a place-based approach with a continuous references to the local context. So it is aimed at developing innovations targeting the local challenges which the societies and the environment of Dakar face. The Social Tech for Sustainability workshop was organized and run by a team of researchers at the IPP Institute in Dakar, so the Institut Polytechnique Pan-Africain, IPP, in Dakar, and it involved 15 students with the goal of foresee some product service system able to provide social solutions to some problems addressed by the local population and more specifically by the fishing sector in Dakar. The Social Tech for Sustainability workshop as a model, as a theoretical model, and we try to build this model based on three main objectives. The first objective was that of exploiting and showing the potential of innovative design models in stimulating place-based innovation processes and projects able to respond to social and economic challenges in the local context. Secondly, the project aimed at offering a training in social entrepreneurship and in design for social and environmental sustainability, maintaining this focus on the local context. And finally, it aimed at developing through product service system project to strengthen bottom-up local entrepreneurship and fostering consequently innovation ecosystems in which the social tech entrepreneurship may play a key role. So creating innovation ecosystems based on social tech business. The Social Tech for Sustainability model is based on the assumption that the product innovation processes, models which have been created also by Rosenberg and Eccles, can play a key role in overall and more extended innovation processes. To say it more precisely, product and product service design can be embedded in a more extensive process which is based on social and technological place-based innovation. That's the assumption and the vision on which we try to build this interdisciplinary educational model. The interdisciplinary educational model is based on a series of phases, and the first step are the introductory lectures, which have been provided and are based on a true social tech approach and a mixed context which relate to the social entrepreneurship, theoretical context about social entrepreneurship, PSS design, but also do-it-yourself technologies and materials. Secondly, the second step is that of the tools exploration, which focuses and exploits here in these phases the place-based characteristics and place-based approach, and involves an analysis of the context of the local challenges, so an analysis of stakeholders, of social needs, of social assets, and also of the social values which are present in a local community. And then there is the phase begins the idea funding phase, is the idea funding step, which concretely leads to the generation and the selection of some ideas, some PSS ideas. The new social tech for sustainability PSS ideas are then developed in the phases, in the educational phases, which we name the plan development. And this phase is based on the literature and the processes which are typical of design for product innovation. And this phase encompasses and includes some key elements: the design of the creation of a production plan, the PSS design, and the social business model canvas plan. This phase leads to the social tech for sustainability PSS design, which can be developed then through business development techniques, and which can then become a true startup and a true social tech enterprise. This is how we worked. So concretely in Dakar, so the introductory lectures and the tool exploration lasted 7 days, and it was collective. The idea funding step lasted 4 days, and it was done in groups. And the plan development was also done in groups and lasted 7 days. And then we had presentations of the PSS by the students. Here you see some pictures of how things work. And these are some results. The students created 5 PSS projects, 2 pirogue balanciers to contribute to stabilizing the traditional fishing boats during the nets handover, 2 projects addressed to the fisheries conservation, and also a transportable maintenance platform for pirogues attached to the local fishermen's associations. All these projects were done involving new technologies, involving do-it-yourself materials, or involving 3D printing and new technology exploitation as enabler of entrepreneurship. We also try to validate the results of our workshop with a validation test. We conducted 9 semi-structured interviews to 4 local students, 2 local teachers from the local university, 2 teachers from the Polytechnic of Milan, and 1 local entrepreneur. Interviews were about the perceived relationship between the new technologies and the societal challenges in Senegal, the perceived satisfaction and efficacy of the workshop, and the perceived perceptions about the development of social entrepreneurial forms in Senegal and also in the students' careers. And the results of the validation test showed a strong appreciation for this kind of interdisciplinary workshop, and above all, a strong emphasis, especially by the students, on the interlink between the new technology as the 3D printing and do-it-yourself materials and social entrepreneurial opportunities, validating a series of previous results from Rognoli et al. And also there is a strong perceived potential of social business in solving local societal problems, environmental problems like plastic pollution above all. And these are mainly the perception by the students, who also try to appreciate the potential of entrepreneurial careers in their future. However, there are some important difficulties which are linked to systemic and cultural obstacles to the development of social business in Senegal. This problem has been stressed by other local actors different from students. Difficulties in changing the local entrepreneurial models, especially in a sector like fishing, which has a long history, but also a recognized necessity to foster social entrepreneurial education with a greater continuity and duration, to change also in the schools and in the university the entrepreneurial models which are developed in Senegal, in Dakar. And the necessity, a wide necessity and recognized necessity to complement social entrepreneurial formation with a more general education about the local social and environmental challenges, which should be done at a lower level. So when students, for example, are aged from 10 to 12, so you cannot provide a social entrepreneurial education nor a social tech education without raising awareness about local, so place-based environmental and social challenges in a country like Senegal, which has to change its entrepreneurial models. So we conclude stressing recognize the potential of education in place-based social tech entrepreneurship in creating this kind of interdisciplinary social tech entrepreneurship in order to foster social tech organizations as key players in the future innovation ecosystems, also in countries, in developing countries and BOP countries. And we also showed that design and design for sustainability and do-it-yourself materials, do-it-yourself technologies can play an enabling role in this process, in these new innovation processes based on this mixture between social and technological entrepreneurship. However, there is strong necessity to deepen the research and also the educational models which mix technology and social entrepreneurship also in a country like Dakar. Thank you very much. We are ready to collect your questions. Thank you very much for the attention.